So now I'd like to give you a few tips related to achieving good bond. So let's talk for a minute about how our system evolved. 50 plus years ago, it evolved from a stucco system. A stucco system is 2 layers of WRB, lath, a scratch coat, a brown coat, and a finish coat. Total thickness about 7/8 of an inch. When we install our system, we're trying to achieve the same thing. Many of the systems and materials are the same. We're installing 2 layers of WRB, we're installing a self-furred lath, we're installing a 1/2 inch thick scratch coat, we're installing setting bed mortar in place of the stucco brown coat, and we're installing our stone in place of the stucco finish coat. So the key that I'd like you to imagine is if I'm troweling a brown coat onto a stucco wall, the wall will be completely covered with that brown coat. That's your goal with the mortar setting bed. I point this out because if I'm setting stones one at a time and I'm individually back buttering each one, I'm counting on squeeze out from each stone to connect to the previously installed stone to give me that uniform complete coverage. There may be a time when it's desirable to trowel the mortar on the wall instead of back butter. And I'll talk about that here in a second because we're going to talk about the differences between method A and method B. So my wall system has been prepared. The scratch coat is on and probably cured and has been scratched properly. I have method A where I can back butter the stone, applying sufficient material and pressure to press it into the texture and get good squeeze out as I press it onto the wall and tool it in such a way so that I can connect it to previously installed stones. In a tight fit installation, that might be a little difficult. In a grouted application, you're going to come back with a grout bag and you can use the additional mortar of the grout bag to make all those connections for you. Which leads us to method B, which I think is a better method for installing tight fit installations. Method B, you would still apply a thin back butter pressed into the texture of the stone, but you would trowel the balance of your mortar setting bed on the wall, around 5 square feet at a time, an amount that you can work with before it skins over, and then press your stones into it. Now, if you remember that image of a brown coat, you can see how the setting bed is much more uniform in that application than if I put individual back butter blobs on the back of each stone. There are other things you can do to improve bond. Wetting the scratch coat, wetting the back of the stone. You can also take time to remove any loose material from the back of the stone. There are bonding agents available that may help you. If you use a bonding agent, make sure that it's compatible with the mortar product that you're using and that it meets ASTM C1384. When the installation's completed, we often get a question about sealing it. Usually the sealing question is a reaction to someone trying to keep water out of the system. This particular system is not a barrier system. It's not intended to keep water out. It's supposed to get wet. In fact, manufactured stone can have up to 18% water absorption, and then it dries right back out. This is the same way as a stucco system works. If you seal it, you slow down the intake of water, but you also slow down the output of water as well. And so if you use a sealer, you want to use a silane-based breathable sealer. And there are some cautions that go with that. For example, if I slow the product's ability to dry, then I'm going to put it in a more harsh environment from a freeze-thaw standpoint. If I slow its ability to dry, I'm going to give that water more opportunity to pick up salts and then become efflorescence. If I slow its ability to dry, I could just drive moisture vapor toward the inside of the house. So if you're going to seal, use a breathable sealer and follow the instructions to the letter, because a simple mistake during the application of a sealer can change it from breathable to non-breathable very easily. There are applications where sealing makes sense. If I have a chimney and I want to be able to clean soot off of it, okay, that's a decent application for a sealer. If I live in an area that has a very colorful soil, orange, red soil, and you get splash on the stone, you want to be able to wash that off, that's probably another decent application for a sealer. or a restaurant food preparation area. And in those cases, they require sealers that are very heavy duty, and that's kind of a animal all of its own. So we've scratched the surface on several technical topics, and in one sitting you probably can't retain all this, and that's okay, because all of this information is available to you. All of these technical documents are available to you. Take the time to study them and understand. Take advantage of the resources that are available on culturedstone.com, as well as the trade association masonryveneer.org. And thanks for listening.